Hello everyone, this is Kaizouwar here, and a while back I made a video about my top 5 favorite BlazBlue characters, and since I didn't feel right at only just leaving 5 of them, this will be a list doing 5 more. Just as I was saying before, this list is not a ranking, so this will not be my least favorite to my most favorite, as all these choices are equal. As always, don't forget to like and comment on the video as well as subbing to the channel. If you like these sorts of videos, I do have more on my channel, and without further ado, let's get on with this. So Naoto Kurogane was a character I was a bit iffy on originally. I often joked about Naoto being a stock standard shonen protagonist being isekai to the BlazBlue world, but over time I grew to like him for just being a chill, average dude who just has to deal with the BS of the BlazBlue world, and his reactions to everything are quite understandable, like an actual person being forced to grasp the series right, and I mean right, when BlazBlue Central Fiction is happening, which is arguably the worst time. It all feels very human to me, oddly enough. You know, BlazBlue is this kind of series that doesn't really have too much of a human attachment, if that makes any kind of sense, but you see Naoto, you think, man, he feels like a human character in this wacky anime series. Especially in BBTAG, where the kid finally gets an English voice actor in the form of Billy Kimetz, and he makes the character really come to life in the story mode. I think what is the real charm for Naoto for me is that human element. He's just straight up a normal good guy that has to deal with the supernatural madness around him, and while I can understand why folks don't exactly vibe with Naoto, I really do like the dude. Plus it is kind of interesting that he's like this more younger shonen take on Ragna. It kind of reminds me of how Nero was, how he started out in Devil May Cry 4. Who knows what is in store for Naoto in the future. I definitely want to know what's going to happen with the guy next, so yeah, that puts Naoto as my 5th rank. Okay, can we just start off with the fact that Kokanoe is one of the most insane and over-the-top characters among a cast of insane and over-the-top characters. This science cat, as I like to call her, is one of the most resourceful geniuses in all of BlazBlue, yet has this snarky side to her that is only matched by the roast queen herself, Rachel Alucard. This foul-mouthed, grouchy, practically done with the world madness of a character is always fun to see doing things. Kokanoe doesn't give a damn about doing shit that would seem morally unethical. She was like the very first SS-class criminal before Ragna. She literally turned Kagura's own bedroom into an elevator. She somehow had nuclear warheads just lying around. She was the one who brought Celica to the current timeline as a Chrono Phantasma, which means she somehow tampered with the past itself, and even rewired her own brain to feel no hatred towards Terumi, who thrives off it to continue his existence. Now, Julie Ann Taylor, who mind you also plays Tsubaki and Izoi, really does an amazing job contrasting voices like Kokanoe and Tsubaki. It is that snappy, I don't give a shit about you because I'm smarter than you attitude that Kokanoe has that makes her so lovable among fans. Hell, most top lists of BlazBlue characters has Kokanoe ranked in them for a reason, and honestly, the series wouldn't be the same without her. So starting off with BlazBlue Calamity Trigger, Bang was never exactly one of my favorite characters, as I found him annoying at first like the other BlazBlue characters did at the time. But over time, I really began to dig his energy and his personality, being this well-meaning but rather incompetent goofball of a ninja, only wanting to do good, but wasn't exactly the best at doing it at times. Bang's heart was always in the right place, and even when he's backed into a corner, he still holds onto its faith and strives to keep on pushing forward, and even wanted to help others such as Taukaka, Carl, and Platinum do the same. So when Continuum Shift came around, Bang had started to become more of an important character rather than holding on to the joke stats he had in BlazBlue Calamity Trigger. And when BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma came around, a more developed Bang was arguably one of the most important story characters in the game, handling the matters on the Kushinada's linchpin and the Retenjo. On top of that, he definitely grew as a character where he wasn't always shouting and in over his head. You You can definitely see a much calmer and more restrained Bang in BlazBlue Central Fiction, and he not only got over his crush on Lightcheap, but also saved her from the pain of killing Arcune with his own hands, taking that role upon himself. The funny thing about Bang is that his heroism was always seen down upon. That's the thing about BlazBlue. This world is full of cynical assholes, mostly, and when they see someone like Bang's heroism, they kind of just downplay it and say, yeah, that's not going to work in this kind of world, buddy. You're pretty much like wasting your time trying to be a true quote-unquote hero in this kind of world. Plus, but you know what? I like how that worked out with Bang, and I like how, even through all the bullshit he's been suffered through, he came out on the other side clean and a much better person because of it. Plus, I like Steve Kramer more than Tony Oliver as Bang. Let's just be real about that. Rachel goddamn Alucard. Rachel Alucard is just a delight. She is so unbelievably mean to other characters that it really comes off as joyful to watch. Sometimes, I get frustrated when characters are just unnecessarily mean, but Rachel has like the perfect insults and counters to nearly everything thrown at her, and hell, I even learned complex and interesting words from Rachel that I never knew even existed, but until she spoke them out. Even though she is rather sassy, rude, and a bit much at times, Rachel is ultimately trying to help humanity as much as she can without overstepping her boundaries as the onlooker. And when she finally did overstep those boundaries and lost her powers in BlazBlue Chrome Phantasma, as she risked it all on everyone else, she became a lot more vulnerable and humble, showing that how much she could grow as a person when being brought down from their peak to the bottom where everyone else is. I also dig Rachel's design, which has always been one of my favorite outfits in all of BlazBlue. Not to mention that Mela Lee freaking kills it as Rachel. I can't honestly hear Rachel without hearing Mela Lee because it just feels so wrong to hear the character without that English voice actress of hers. And while Rachel's themes aren't exactly my favorite, like Queen of Rose, which I like, but it's not exactly my favorite song, I do like the idea of her having White Requiem, even though I don't like the song all that much. I do like the idea of having White Requiem for Ragna, even though they're not really rivals of sorts, but I do like the idea that she has a rival theme with Ragna to begin with. I don't know why, but I like the idea of just like, giving her a rival theme, even though they're not rivals in the first place. They just, sometimes fight amongst each other, and I like how it's more of a bickering kind of theme than a straight up, yeah, I'm versus you, let's kick each other's asses kind of theme, Celica, oh Celica. Celica A. Mercury is the very shining light in the dark world that is BlazBlue. She is such a sweet and endearing character that she is practically incapable of being hated, in my personal opinion. She is just an overall sweet and kind person that doesn't let anything get her down, and has always had amazing strength that inspire other characters such as Noelle Vermilion and Ragna the Blood Edge. I've always had a thing for these dorky, clumsy, extremely sweet and endearing characters, so Celica definitely fits my bill. Her forwardness towards Ragna is actually pretty funny, considering that Celica would seem like the person to hold back her feelings on the surface, but she isn't, and only did so one time as to not burden Ragna with her inevitable passing. There's something really, really sad about Celica. She really didn't have the best childhood, with almost being used as an experiment multiple times, and I'm not even getting into the home life. But even through all the hurt and pain, she greatly cares for others and puts their needs way before her own. Hell, folks in BlazBlue Central Fiction are running around like maniacs and dealing with the whole end-of-the-world business, while Celica is being optimistic and even asks most of them if they're holding up well physically or mentally during the madness, or even trying to cheer them up in her win quotes the best way she can. Plus, I think the idea of Minerva fighting for Celica in battle is actually kind of cute. You can definitely see how much Celica cares for Minerva despite her being a robot, and shows that no matter who or what you are, she will always show respect. Hell, even if she doesn't like someone like Terramy for killing her sister and ruining lives, she still calls him Mr. Terramy, showing that respectful nature of hers can't be broken, even towards the most heinous of individuals. At the end of the day, Celica is simply precious, and it's sad that, even though she knew she had limited time left to live, was happy to spend time with everyone, and had passed on with a smile, and while it was short, really lived a life worth living with those around her. And that's it for this part 2 of my top 5 favorite BlazBlue characters. Hell, if this video actually does pretty well, I might do a third one, because I love talking about BlazBlue characters. As always, please like and comment the video if you enjoyed it. There is more of my channel like this if you want to see it. And without further ado, I will see you all next time.